Over 40 Palestinians have been killed in the Gaza Strip since Friday. Just days after China held large military drills in Taiwan, the self-ruled island announced that they will be conducting their own military tests. Fox's Alexandria Hoff has more.
Leadership in the U.S. maintains that China's President Xi Jinping is using Speaker Pelosi's landmark trip to Taiwan as an excuse to show aggression.
President Biden testing negative for COVID for his second straight day. He is out of isolation and is scheduled to visit flood-ravaged areas of Kentucky on Monday. America is listening to Fox News.
Want some extra space for your house? Additions are super pricey. You know what? The addition you want could be right under your feet right now. It's your basement. And the #1 basement company in America is Matrix Home Solutions. Matrix Home Solutions is the absolute solution for your basement. Is it unfinished? Does it need finished or updated? Matrix has been doing basements for decades, and everyone's different. It's because they make it your way. The basement you want. They make it real. Game room, bar, office, home theater, extra bedrooms. What do you want your basement to be? Go to matrixhomesolutions.com. Schedule your consultation. Then have them come by and tell you how your basement can be exactly what you want. Need to finance it? Can do that too. Right now, Matrix Home Solutions is offering half-off installation for your basement. It's always material and labor. With this offer, one half is half off, but it's a very limited offer. So get online and schedule that free consultation. Matrix Home Solutions, the solution to basements. MatrixHomeSolutions.com.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson. Now's the time to join millions of Americans who have changed the quality of their sleep with MyPillow. And my friend Mike Lindell didn't stop at pillows. Right now, MyPillow is having their biggest sheet sale of the year. The MyPillow Percale sheets are the comfiest set I own. You're going to love them. They're available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they're all on sale. For example, the queen size, regularly priced $89.98, now only $39.98 with the promo code LIBERTY. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. These MyPillow Percale sheets are breathable, have a cool, crisp feel, come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There's limited supply, so order now. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listeners square, and use promo code LIBERTY. You'll also get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. MyPillow.com or call 1-800-489-0201. Use the promo code LIBERTY.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Dr. Gorka here, and you know me. I am very cynical about products, especially those that claim to help people suffering from pain. So when I tell you that Relief Factor truly works, I want you to know that I mean it. I suffered from a stiff lower back for almost a decade, one so painful it made it difficult to kneel in church on Sundays. When I finally decided to give Relief Factor a try, I didn't ever imagine that I would find myself free of the pain, but that's what happened. Now I take Relief Factor every day. Almost 70% of the more than 500,000 people who have tried Relief Factor end up ordering more. That's because it works for them the way it worked for me. Isn't it time for you to get out of pain? Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start for the discounted price of only $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. Feel the difference.
AM560 The Answer. This live program is sponsored by Safer USA OT Media Group. It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight we'll be discussing the Democrats' latest spending bill, especially as it relates to green energy. Find out what state has patriots guarding ballot drop boxes for election security. Children were exposed to monkeypox at an Illinois daycare center, and Truth Social. Find out what's going on with that. All that and more with On Target Radio.
So, if your ratings are in the tank, if you have the worst ratings of any president in history, which is hard to fathom, and you can't even remember if you're president, and you have a vice president who I don't know what she thinks she is, what is the logical way to win back the favor of the people? Oh, how about a $570 billion tax increase?
Pass a huge spending bill.
But it's not a spending bill. It's an inflation, avoidance bill.
Hey,
But
Dave,
it's
I can help you with one point there. You were wondering what Kamala Harris. We need to ask her. It's 2022, right? She identifies as the president.
Well, and that's okay because Joe identifies as the vice president, as he said on a number of occasions recently.
Exactly. Yeah, it's. Did you see the meeting that she ran? I don't know what it was, but there's a bunch of people around a conference table, and at the beginning of the meeting, she introduced herself and said, my pronouns are she, it, whatever it was, and I'm wearing a blue dress. I don't even understand what that comes from. No, I'm serious.
No, she did do that. Yes.
She did do that.
No, I'm saying I didn't see it. You said the question was, did you see it?
Yeah.
The answer is no, I did not see it.
What is?
I saw it, and it was hideous.
What is the logic of that?
She claimed the logic was for people that were hard of seeing or colorblind to be able to better understand, what she was doing.
Maybe
so she
it was an
articulating
homage to Bill Clinton.
No, there were no cigars involved. But precisely, what does telling people I'm wearing a blue dress have to do with anything at all?
It doesn't have anything to do with it. Just like when she, was explaining where Ukraine was. It's like we don't need a geography lesson. Thank you very much.
Priceless.
This thing is going to put a $4,500 tax increase on Americans. The fuel taxes.
He's gobsmacked.
There are no words.
I am. I really am. There's no words. If you're tanking and you increase the taxes, you think that's going to make it better?
Doesn't it?
And they say, like Biden himself said that it's not going to increase taxes unless you make over $400,000. But like every other organization, from the Congressional Budget Office to Heritage Action to Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, everyone else is saying, no, it is going to increase.
Well, and listen, too, when you increase the corporate tax rate by 15%, they're going to, less of that money is going to flow down to their employees, which means less of it's going to flow down into your pocket. At the same time, prices are going to keep going up like they have been because inflation is going to increase. And I think this $4,100 or whatever it was is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's never been a tax that ever ended up being what they said it was going to be. It always turns out to be worse. The inflation rate right now is 9.1%. Are they striving for a higher number?
Well, I would like that because I do have some I bonds, so that isn't tied to inflation. So bump it up all you want. I'm all good with that. And a lot of this goes to, surprise, surprise, climate change. Well, and that's a scary thing. So who makes all of the solar panels and wind turbine blades and things like that?
People with hands.
People with hands in what country?
China.
Oh, in China, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And didn't we just have some kind of little spat with China over Taiwan? Am I missing something here?
Have they blown her out of the sky yet?
No, they didn't.
So speaking of that,
kind of hard to hit a broomstick.
I actually saw Mike Huckabee on his show last night talking about that, and he made a good point that hadn't occurred to me was, China threatened to shoot down Pelosi's plane if she went to Taiwan, and he pointed out he was like kudos to her for going anyway, and she really needed to do that because we can't let China bully us into living in fear and not doing what we need or want to do.
No, you're absolutely right. Trump would have just gotten on his plane right away. No, it was a bold move on her part, and to give credit where credit is due. We did need to go to Taiwan and tell them that we really are their ally. I'm not sure that I would send a woman who half the time doesn't know what she's doing, but she's the vice president.
To check her insider trading over there.
There you go. Yeah,
that's right.
Best way to do it is in person.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. I mean, you stare down the barrel of the gun and you just laugh and keep doing what you're going to do.
Right.
I would like to know what she was doing on the flight on the way over. Like,
why?
Well, she's probably in the John throwing up the whole time.
I was going to say she's probably saying the rosary for the first time in 70 years.
Did you see the plane type that she flew? It was a Air Force version. I think a C-40C. It's a Air Force version of 737. They took a very long route
That's
around the south, up through the Philippines, and that's a long flight to be on with an entourage on a plane that size.
That's the vice president's plane.
Especially when you're an 80-something. I think they have a number of them. But yeah, when
They
you're an
do.
80-something-year-old woman who's just going to check on your husband's NVIDIA stock, he couldn't go by himself. He had a court date or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're listening to On Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. We're talking about the wonderful new Biden tax and spend bill. And Schumer is touting this as the greatest thing in the history of the Senate. This is the biggest thing that they've ever done.
It'll be the biggest failure.
Well, the way that he parsed it, he said, I'm confident the Inflation Reduction Act will endure as one of the defining legislative measures of the 21st century. That's probably true. That's not necessarily positive, but
it will define.
It will define, yeah.
100%.
I can't disagree with him.
Well, and Heritage Foundation has said it would disproportionately increase taxes coming from people making less than $75,000. So the numbers, they always put out bogus numbers.
Well, it's going to be across the board. And I think they're speaking specifically to taxes. But, I mean, if you think about all the other added things like we were talking about earlier, the cost of living, we're already squeezed as tight as we can go.
Well, and they have talked about, I don't know if they can accomplish it, but they've talked about shaving back on Social Security payments. They've talked about shaving back on the VA benefits. I mean, they're going to every pot they can find and seeing how much money they can get out of it. Well, and that's the fun. That's the wet dream of a couple of, at the time, junior members of Congress, who, by the way, have been amazingly silent this entire time. What happened to those? To
the squad? Yeah. They have been quiet.
They're getting what they want.
I wonder if the media has.
I think you're right.
I think the media is just ignoring them.
Well, I think George just kind of hit it on the head. They're finally getting what they want because Biden is the stupidest son of a gun in the world. You got to wonder how much of it's Joe Biden, though.
It just gets me that everybody and their brother knows this is bad.
Sure.
This is supposed to be a government of by and for the people, and here we are. Just it was right down party lines. Of course, Kamala was the deciding vote on this. I don't think it's got a chance in the House. I wish it did, but now that it's already passed the Senate, it seems kind of like a lock.
Yeah. The interesting thing, I saw this just the other day, and I can't remember the exact numbers. Gretchen will probably know because she memorizes everything that's on Facebook. They talk about the number of millionaires in the general population is something like 19% or something. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
And, again, don't quote me on the numbers, but they're generally in this area. The number in the general population of millionaires is something like 19%.
I don't even think like a millionaire now is even worth mentioning.
I would take it. But in Congress, the percentage of millionaires is over 50%.
That's a problem.
Now, sure, there's some people that go to Congress that are millionaires when they go. Most of them are not. And that brings us back to how do you make $1 million in Congress when what do they make, 150,000 or 200,000 bucks, something like that?
I'm not sure.
I've looked it up, but I can't remember.
It's a rigged game.
Oh, well, it's from the insider trading. Everybody knows that.
Well, it's from that, and it's from your tax money, which, by the way, they want to supersize the IRS now. So they want to add how many agents?
Oh, yeah. Well, they got to enforce the new taxes.
87,000 agents. I'm already getting notifications like in my business email, like, hey, if your business stuff isn't up to snuff, you better get it there because they're going to come after everybody.
It is what it is, boys and girls.
It's going to be really good for those kids coming out of accounting schools.
Yeah, especially
there's going to be a ton of job openings.
What about the ones coming out of medical school that owe $150,000, $200,000? We're going to have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Arizona Patriots guard ballot drop boxes. I like that. That sounds good. All that and more when we return with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
I have cancer, and then the White House has to clarify. No, the leader of the free world doesn't have cancer. You know, since the left was so interested in the application of the 25th Amendment during the Trump years, how about a renewed discussion on said amendment?
I mean, do you believe anything that he says?
No,
Remember, too, when he
I
said
don't.
he was a lifeguard, with corn pops?
Start your day with Chicago's Morning Answer. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM560 The Answer.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Skin, hair, nails, just good health all over.
So I got to the point where I was, for like a week and a half, I didn't really take vegetables, and I could totally feel a difference just from not taking the vegetables.
I just feel mellower, and that helps me too, because then I can give myself a break and say, good, you did it. I know that this is a good path for me to go on. I can tell there's things that are happening, and I do feel better.
Yes, it's better. I was really down, and it has been uplifting. I really do approve of it, and I'm 80 years old, and so this is really good for me.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature right now. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get free shipping. And don't forget to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hear the latest reporting and analysis on the big stories of the day on the Daybreak Insider podcast. It's top-notch reporting from SRN News, along with the sharpest insight from Hugh Hewitt, Mike Gallagher, Dennis Prager, Sebastian Gorka, and the voices of townhall.com. The Daybreak Insider podcast. It's your first look at today's top stories. Available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
International travel is open again, and now is the perfect time for a trip to Israel. Spend 10 extraordinary days in the Holy Land this November with your hosts Sebastian Gorka and Dinesh D'Souza, along with our trusted travel partner, Inspiration Cruises and Tours. Collect remarkable memories, enjoy picturesque and unforgettable places on a trip to Israel that will change you forever. Reserve your spot today at standwithisraeltour.com. Standwithisraeltour.com.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
So 10 years ago, a group of engineers designed a really cool battery. It was a vanadium battery, and it was designed in a U.S. laboratory, paid for with, obviously, U.S. tax dollars. And this battery was so cool that it's about the size of a refrigerator, and like your cell phone battery, after, so many times of recharging or discharging, it kind of loses a little bit of its, oomph, right? It doesn't last as long. Well, this battery was designed to power a whole house, and it would last about 30 years. But we took that technology, and we gave it to China.
As a present.
Yeah, little gift.
Well, that's sort of an oversimplification, but
it's a very big oversimplification, but
so
there's a lot more to it, but that's...
Yeah, the company that was licensed to produce it was an American company, but he couldn't, the guy who owned it couldn't get the manufacturing. He couldn't get any investors in the United States.
He couldn't fund his what happened.
The guy who had it licensed, I guess,
right.
through the government.
So he was he had a partnership with a company in China that was manufacturing it, And then eventually he just sent all the manufacturing to China. So we didn't exactly give it to China, but China, David can speak to this. China is famous for whenever somebody has a good idea, they take it apart and they figure out how to make it themselves, and more cheaply and at a higher profit. And so the fact that it's being manufactured in China almost is giving it to China.
When Japan's economy made it such that it was no longer financially practical to hire Japanese to do manufacturing, the Japanese government moved all their manufacturing to China, where the labor was cheaper. So they taught the Chinese how to do all this manufacturing and use CNC equipment and all that. Now, when the Japanese economy turned around and it became feasible to bring all of their manufacturing back, what happened? The Chinese had learned a new trick, and now they opened up their own places and they were beating the Japanese at their own game because their price of labor was less. Here's the thing you have to understand about China, because I've spent a pretty good amount of time in China. There were whole periods when China was our friend. We were willfully exporting manufacturing and things to China. We had trade agreements with them. I spent time over there. I mean, they were our friend. We were helping them feed people, literally, and in return they were giving us products. So I get the problem with this, I really do, but you also have to remember that there has been for many, many years this prevalent thing that we have a working relationship with China. It's always been a tenuous thing because politics keep getting in the way, but we've always had that relationship. So it's not surprising that people still have connections with laboratories and manufacturing plants in China. That shouldn't be a surprise. That they may be doing something illegal shouldn't be a surprise either, really.
No, it's not. But I think the point is that, we were friends with China, and, Trump started imposing tariffs on them to help boost up the American economy. But, Biden comes in, takes all of that out. Now we're buying, we have all these billions of dollars going over to China now for green energy, which, these batteries are another example of that. That's kind of why I brought this article in, because there's companies in the U.S. that want the licenses for this but can't get it right now. And, of course, China's going to do it cheaper. They're not going to necessarily do it better, but that's where the money is going to go. And that's a big problem. And they're kind of provoking us right now.
Yeah, the thing that I think that's so crazy about this is this has been going on. This battery was first developed in 2006, and this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, same here. I was kind of surprised to learn that. But
I mean, all these people are so, psycho for green energy. This is a green technology that actually could work. It sounds like, because they said you could park it outside your house and hook up solar panels to it and, charge your own battery and then run your house off of this battery. But yet no one knows about it.
I think back in 2006, the idea of batteries and solar panels was just starting to become a thing. And I don't know that a lot of people bought into the idea of it back then. Mm-hmm. But now, especially with Tesla making huge advancements in batteries and power walls and, solar and all that kind of stuff, I think it's more prevalent now, and I think a lot more people are ready to jump in and buy into it. But the problem is we haven't put any effort into it in the U.S., or if we did, we decided to manufacture it over in China.
Which is ultimately ironic. If you're trying to save the environment, you're basically having one of the dirtiest products capable of being manufacturing in one of the places that has the worst environmental standards.
Right. Well, and China doesn't care about the environmental standards. No. If you look at the carbon emissions, the U.S. and Europe have been going down, but our economies have been crumbling at the same time. China's carbon emissions have been spiking, and their economies have been great.
When you step off a plane in Beijing, I kid you not, you gasp. The air quality is so bad. You just literally, you get that sort of reflex. It really is terrible.
And not only that, I mean, sure, if you can manufacture something more cheaply in China, but then you have to pay to ship it back.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that's always a concern. And then now with the ships, you can't even get them into the port.
Right, exactly. I mean, this is a you-know-what.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a tailgate party in China? Neither have I. But speaking of tailgates.
Oh, boy.
Did you see?
Thanks for nothing.
Did you see 2,000 Mules finally?
I did not finally see it.
You really need to see
I've
it.
seen a lot of clips of it, so I know of it. I know
Yeah.
the concept, but I didn't actually
Well,
get a chance to
to make a real short explanation, in 2000 Mules, basically, they had cameras hidden watching every one of the drop boxes where you could bring in your ballot and just drop it in, and there was nobody there.
Right.
And what they would do is when somebody would come up with a handful, I mean, really a big bunch of ballots and put it in, they'd go online and they'd see the ping of his cell phone. They'd lock it on, put his license plate or whatever with it, and now they could watch him traveling around the city. And they did that at every drop box, and they got all this. They ended up with a map of people who they have routes like milkmen.
Right.
And they go out every night and they drop a handful of ballots in every one of those boxes and go home. And they got all this planned out. It's totally damning evidence. Well, in Arizona, who has always been a few yards ahead of everybody when it comes to conservatism, they're going to go a little beyond that. They're going to have tailgate parties at all the boxes, and they're just going to park out and camp out in front of it and roast hot dogs and probably hold AR-15s in their lap. I don't know that.
Well, it's open carry and it's public property, so
exactly.
There's nothing super illegal about that.
I think activists in Washington State are doing the same thing. Well, I think it's great. I think that people taking initiative, taking their civic duties personally upon themselves, and taking their patriotism seriously, I think is a good thing. My question is, we're struggling to. I'm sure it's not only Illinois. I'm sure it's not only Will County. We're struggling to get enough election judges. We're struggling to get poll watchers for when the vote by mail ballots come in and are opened and processed. So does Arizona have all of those positions fully staffed? That we have extra people who are willing to sit all night?
You're kind of stopping at the source.
Sit all night at drop boxes.
Let me make an observation, and I'm not being glib. I'm just being honest. The individual who will do that is not the same individual that'll be a judge. When they said they were going to come and Antifa was going to come to Shorewood, 3 of us sat in my driveway with ARs just waiting for them. Okay? You've seen this over and over again. There's one type of person who says, not in my yard, you're going to do this. You're not coming into my neighborhood. That's a totally different person that someone's involved in the political process and elections. I mean, just looking at 2 different types of people.
Well, I understand that. I'm just saying there are lots of things that need to be done.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
You're absolutely right. I wouldn't suggest differently. But people are beginning to not just take this seriously. They're really beginning to get angry at how this works. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats solidly hold on to the saying that it was not rigged, this is a conspiracy, and yet you now have video proof that it was in fact.
But when they lose, everything's rigged.
Absolutely. And so you've just got people, and Arizona is not a surprise. Texas will be the next one that are saying, you know what, we're just going to kind of hang around their boxes. I'm going to polish my boots and shine my gun while we sit out in front of them boxes. And that's how it's going to work. We're going to have to take another break. I think I'm on track now. When we return, we're going to talk about monkeypox. I'm not even going to go there. But all that and more when we return with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
See the world premiere of Uncle Tom 2, the sequel to the groundbreaking 2020 documentary from executive producer Larry Elder. And you can meet Alan West and Chad Jackson from the film at a special VIP reception. It's all happening on one night only in one theater on Thursday, August 25th at the Hollywood Boulevard Cinema in Woodbridge. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/movie. That's 560theanswer.com/movie. Presented by the Black Conservative Summit.
Fox News, I'm Richard Jordan. Senate Democrats pass a massive spending bill aimed at addressing global warming and high pharmaceutical costs.
After an all-night and morning vote-a-rama, the Senate gave final approval to the $700 billion Inflation Reduction Act. Democrats claim it will combat climate change, lower prescription drug costs, and ease consumer prices. Republicans argue it will worsen inflation. The bill now goes to the House, which is expected to vote on it next Friday.
Fox's John Scott. Texas Governor Greg Abbott plans to continue sending busloads of migrants to New York City and Washington, D.C.
And it's all part of his plan to force the Biden administration to acknowledge the crisis at the border. Governor Abbott says thousands more migrants will be arriving in the coming months.
Fox's Nate Foy in New York. America's listening to Fox News.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett Equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan all year long that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, and if you're 50 years old and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. The least expensive ACA PPO health insurance plan is $540 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $8,550 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium down to $273 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $6,050 in total out-of-pocket cost per person with my lower deductible, and you save $267 per month with my lower premiums. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Summertime! Now that I've got your attention, let me tell you all about us. Whoa, tough crowd. Anybody out there? Hello?
Fighting to be heard in today's competitive digital world?
Anyone?
Too often, digital campaigns fail because it's being handled by someone inexperienced.
It's time for Salem Surround because our specialists break through all the clutter and put your message and your business front and center. Our team is the best of the best with years of experience and superior ideas and innovations. Salem Surround is obsessed with your success. No cookie cutter treatments here. Everything is tailored to you, your company, and your message.
With Salem Surround, you get it all. From up-to-the-minute analytic reports and insight to managing every aspect of your digital and marketing needs.
So let's turn up the volume on your business. Get started with Salem Surround today.
Learn more at surroundchicago.com. Surroundchicago.com, connecting you with new customers.
Security, safety. Lately, those words have new meaning. Hi, this is Sean Morrison. My company is Morrison Security. If you use a security company, I want you to think about this. Who's behind that company? Is it a company that is just doing an okay job? How well are they trained? Do you really trust them? The word is security. What's behind Morrison Security? We believe in the Second Amendment and conservative values, and here's why. It's about protection and freedom. Whether you need armed protection or not, you have the right to protect your business, to protect your property, to protect your school, to protect your family. Security. It has never been more important to know who's behind your security company. Is it people just filling a job? Or is it a group of people that in their core believes in providing real protection for your schools, business, and employees? Protection for you and your family. At Morrison Security, my name is on the company. You know what's behind Morrison Security. Take a moment. Think about your security services. Good may not be good enough. I welcome the comparison. Morrison Security. We're securing America coast to coast, based right here in Chicagoland. Check us out at morrisonsecurity.com. That's morrisonsecurity.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
So, monkeypox or COVID 2.0? According to this article from the Washington Post, children were potentially exposed to monkeypox at an Illinois daycare facility. A person who works at the daycare facility tested positive for monkeypox and potentially exposed children who are supposedly at a higher risk for outcomes from the virus, state officials announced on Friday. This all comes on the heels, too, of Pritzker declaring monkeypox an emergency in Illinois and Biden declaring it a national emergency, even though only, I think the number's up to like possibly 66 or 7,700 people out of 329 million.
Wait till we get closer to the election.
Well, that's why I'm calling it COVID 2.0, because according to this article, if you got infected with monkeypox, you may not know it for weeks, plural. Now, with COVID, it was days, right? So you had to be scared of it, and it was,
Although initially with COVID, they said 2 weeks because they didn't know what the incubation period was.
That's true.
Initially, they said you shouldn't wear a mask.
Yeah.
And then you should wear a mask.
Right.
And we're still wearing masks. Well, not us, but
well,
people are.
Some people are.
Democrats are.
They require you wear one if you go into any medical facility.
It's so annoying. You go to the dentist, you sit in the waiting. I'm going to have my mouth open the whole time, but you want me to wear a mask while I'm the only person in the waiting room.
Isn't that crazy?
No, call me skeptical. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't know. This stuff is too convenient. COVID, way too convenient. Way too convenient. It's all about locking people up and keeping them out. Well, you can't go out, so you should mail them in. This is crap.
I'm almost wondering if, obviously they're saying this spreads more through the gay community. I'm almost wondering if they're trying really hard to attach a stigma to it, because like we were just talking about at dinner, like, well, if you were one of the people that might have come in contact with someone and you got it, it'd be kind of embarrassing because you're not part of that community. But maybe they're just like, hey, it could take a really long time to incubate, and we got to be afraid of all these people, and don't go out and don't go near people, and you got to stay in for weeks to find out if you have it. And I almost wonder if that's playing into this a little bit, and this just keeps ballooning up, even though the numbers really aren't ballooning up. The hype is, though.
What are they going to condemn next? Dancing naked? I mean, really?
Well, Gretchen's.
Yeah. So let's see, public health officials are trying to communicate a nuanced message that sexually active gay men face the highest risk of contracting monkeypox because it is currently spreading through close, often skin-to-skin contact, such as hugging, kissing, and dancing without clothes.
Which fits so nicely into hugging and kissing.
Yeah, is that what they're calling it now, dancing?
Is that the sort of thing you used to explain to your kids what they saw when they accidentally opened your door at 1 a.m.?
Yeah,
Mommy and Daddy were dancing laying down.
We were dancing without our clothes.
I'm pretty sure that dancing without clothes is called having sex standing up.
The image of George dancing without clothes is forever burned into my brain.
It didn't say standing up dancing without clothes.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Guess we would need to clarify.
They're not specific in this article. That was a direct quote, by the way, from the article.
You're not listening to On Target Radio. This has been taken over by a strange third world cult, but it is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. At this point, we have no idea where we're going to be going.
What was
nothing you like it.
What was Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla's show called before?
Loveline.
Yeah, Love Line.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect for that.
You've accidentally tuned into Love Line.
It's just 3 hours of 14-year-olds with monkeypox.
It says you can also potentially get it through shared items such as towels, bedding, cups, and utensils.
Oh, so now you can get it through a utensil. So it does like.
Which is why they say there could be household transmission. So most of the kids that get it probably are like children of people in the.
See,
in the
there you go. You just hit the nail on the head. That's it. It can be transmitted through towels, bedding, cups, and utensils.
And soon coming
the
beer.
The tailgate parties they're going to have at each of those boxes would incorporate food, which would have cups and utensils. They're going to ban them. They're going to ban those parties.
Well, I think one of the interesting things on here, too, is that they're actually fast-tracking this vaccine. I think it's called Janios. I don't know how to say it. But it was authorized only for adults, but now they're calling themselves heroes for getting this to be available for children within a week and cutting through the red tape.
Yeah, I think the the main difference between this and COVID, now coronavirus did exist before, but COVID-19 was new. And
it was a different variant of the coronavirus.
Right, and more highly transmissible through the air, etc. Monkeypox has been around. So this vaccine already existed. This
so why didn't I hear about this, and why weren't these public health emergencies before, just like COVID?
Because you don't live in Boys Town or hang out in Boys Town.
I think Eric's pretending to have not heard of this before.
Okay, we're sliding off the rails here. We're sliding off the rails here. It's
there were rails.
We're gonna have to take another break, and when we come back, you can't handle it because we live in a world with walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Now, who's going to do that, Lieutenant? You? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. That when we return with more On Target Radio, and you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
Kind of immediately felt a little bit of an energy difference. The one thing I noticed about this is, to me, it seems like I was retaining the stuff, not just getting rid of it.
Exceptional. They really, really are. That's why I was nice enough to give mine away, and I shouldn't have. But I did. I was being a nice person when I did this.
I love them. Just amazing. And, and again, it's speaking from somebody who's not a good fruit and vegetable eater. My mom was good at getting them in me, and I loved them. But as an adult, I don't know why I don't take the time to buy them, chop them up, eat them, and all that anyway. But I don't. So I think it's a great product, and I really want to keep taking them.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature right now. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get free shipping. And don't forget to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code CHICAGO.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
You can't handle the truth.
I can do the whole thing if you want.
What the truth? You can't handle the truth.
So apparently, Truth Social can't handle the truth because, according to Public Citizen, which admittedly is a progressive think tank founded by Ralph Nader. Okay, so just that's a caveat. Just lay that in the background. So Truth Social was supposed to be a haven for free speech where content would only be sparsely moderated and not censored on the basis of political ideology. However, users continue to report they have experienced censorship and bans after talking about topics that are unflattering to the former president, Donald Trump, and their terms of service are more restrictive than Twitter, their closest competitor. They ban all sexual content and explicit language. And the main thing that I see that's pretty egregious is they engage in shadow banning. So you don't even necessarily know when your stuff is being suppressed.
A lot of platforms engage in shadow banning. I think it's pretty much across the board at this point.
I think it's standard practice in the industry. So it's maybe a little antithetical for Public Citizen to point that out.
Just a little, but the thing I don't understand though is that it even pointed to some conservative-leaning articles that got shadow banned, or something happened to the articles, or the links didn't work, or something like that. So I almost wonder like how much of this it has to do with like the newness of the platform and maybe some technical glitches and bugs, rather than actual banning. But some of the things that they mention in the terms of service are a little bit surprising, because I did think this was kind of going to be not necessarily a free-for-all, but pretty close to it. But apparently that's not the case.
Well, all of these things start out by saying you can't express an opinion today, and we're going to provide you with a method of doing that. And within a year or two, they're doing the exact same thing. It's just they're doing it along favoring their political point of view. And then so they do that, and then another one comes along and says, well, they're banning everything that's conservative. We're going to start our own thing. Then they start their own thing, and they ban everything that's liberal. And there's no open marketplace where people can say anything they feel like.
I mean, even TikTok was supposed to be kind of a anything goes kind of thing, but people are getting banned for silly things like, diabetics showing, themselves injecting insulin because it depicts drug use or something like that. And just really terrible stuff. Like some people I follow on there that it's really informative and educational are getting their videos blocked too. But of course, that's run by the Chinese. So.
It seems to me that somebody should set up a site whereby you can say any damn thing you want. What is wrong with words? You may not like them, so what? Don't read them. Go on to something else.
Rumble is pretty close to that, but it's not really the social media site that people would think of with like a Truth or Facebook or something. It's more of a closer to YouTube.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's a place we stream Black and Right on there, because Black and Right's John Anthony's show.
Yeah.
They just completely deleted his YouTube account.
Did they really?
And then they said, well, if you want to appeal it, just go ahead and sign in and do the appeal, and he can't sign in because he doesn't have an account.
That's great. It's kind of like Facebook.
That works out easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
They set that up nicely.
The problem I see with it, the problem with what you're saying, David, is that I think they're afraid of liability. They're afraid, like, if somebody like says something inflammatory and it turns out to be a credible threat and they didn't take it down, then there's going to be liability.
I think that's. I don't think so, because I think you can put something in an entry disclaimer that says we are simply providing a chalkboard. We have no control over content, and we have no desire to control content.
That might have been the case before all the election stuff, but now Congress was coming down on social media platforms and saying, "Oh, you're going to be held responsible for what's on your."
Well, but that's wrong.
Well,
of course it is, but it furthers their agenda, so it's right.
Music sharing websites tried to do the same thing, like Napster and the likes of that. Like we're not responsible for what the users put up there, but then ultimately they are responsible. And there has to be a line. If someone's doing something illegal on there, or it's hard to tell where the line is. What's harassment? What's illegal? I think obviously death threats need to be handled, but I think we've gotten really soft as a people on like things like this is bullying, that's bullying. I don't agree with a lot of that. I think again you could say what you want, but then there's people that claim suicide from reading social media. Get off of it then.
Right. I think the other main problem with this is that Truth Social censors more content than they suggest that they don't disclose it. Their content moderation practices lack the transparency, consistency, and nuance expected of a major social media platform. Obviously, that's a quote from Public Citizen, but I think that's I think it's a valid point.
So their sensors are AI and human-based. So I almost wonder sometimes if, some people applied for a job at Truth Social to be a moderator who moderate conservative things, because that's kind of what we're seeing in here too, that, some memes and things like that have no business being moderated on there were deleted or moderated off of there.
There's a Blake Shelton meme that was actually put out by Turning Point USA, and it says, apparently he said, if you don't think I ought to be shooting guns and bragging about my right to keep and bear arms, then you can kiss my country bleep, man. So apparently people have had trouble sharing that.
So quick question. I don't mean to break it off. We're going to take a break. You have items?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Are they of the action variety?
Action items, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's what we call them.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Gretchen's action items and one or two more things. All that and more. We return with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Dr. Gorka here, and you know me. I am very cynical about products, especially those that claim to help people suffering from pain. So when I tell you that Relief Factor truly works, I want you to know that I mean it. I suffered from a stiff lower back for almost a decade, one so painful it made it difficult to kneel in church on Sundays. When I finally decided to give Relief Factor a try, I didn't ever imagine that I would find myself free of the pain, but that's what happened. Now I take Relief Factor every day. Almost 70% of the more than 500,000 people who have tried Relief Factor end up ordering more. That's because it works for them the way it worked for me. Isn't it time for you to get out of pain? Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start for the discounted price of only $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. Feel the difference.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
Join On Target Radio at Boys Night Out Redo, Thursday, August 11th at 6 p.m. at David's Domicile. It is a suggested donation of $100. We will be having ribeye steaks, salmon fillets, oven roasted new potatoes with chives from my garden, asparagus and a cake, premium liquor and cigars. And then after dinner, there will be a joke contest and a trivia contest. So if you would like to attend, please reach out to David or myself, and we will give you the address.
The joke contest is a blood sport this year.
It's got to be a different joke than last year, though, right?
Obviously.
Is that one of the qualifications?
Well, last year, listen, this is a very personal thing.
You lost last year.
This is a very personal thing. I came up with the idea of doing a joke contest because I spent 2 years at Second City. I'm going to win the money.
And you
this
still
is
lost.
It. And I got my butt kicked last year. That's a personal affront. This year I'm going in loaded for bear.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah.
What difference at this point does it make?
Well, that makes a lot of difference, to be honest with
Safer
you.
USA is now offering classes in Geneva, Waterman, and Bonfield. Tuesday, August 9th, Illinois Concealed Carry Renewal class taught by David. Sunday, August 21st, Long Range Rifle taught by Ed Janka. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
I didn't realize you weren't done.
Now I'm done. Now I'm done.
Now we can talk about jokes.
Now we can
David's
talk about
losing
jokes, yeah.
of the joke contest.
I thought that was a great joke last
Now you better get the trivia contest. That's like from your era. That's
Well,
why
I think he's putting it together.
I'm putting it together.
Oh, so you can't be in it then?
No. Well, I
gonna
could,
say,
but it
how-
would make it pretty easy to win.
I would say so.
Yeah.
No,
That's
you're,
assuming you can remember any of it.
you're automatically DQ.
I say we let each person submit certain trivia questions.
Oh,
like
I've got
at least
I
one
got
trivia
3
question,
from every decade starting in 1950
and going till when?
all the way up to now.
No.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So you have 12, 14,
Well,
16?
it's 3 per.
Common
so you
core
got
math, George.
50,
Come on.
60,
I know,
70,
I'm
80,
trying to get him
90,
to pick me a
20,
number.
21, 20. It's about 7 times 3 is 21.
So that'll take
7
up the
times
whole
3
night.
is about 21.
Okay.
And then we got 3. We're going to have 3 sort of bonus ones in there.
Ooh.
And they're just all kinds of stuff.
Are they Gretchen trivia?
No.
There's nothing trivial about Gretchen. Did I get any points with that?
No.
I award you no points.
Never do.
I award you no
There we
points,
go.
and may God have mercy on your soul.
If nothing else, we can at least celebrate the night that I came out with the right number of segments tonight.
That's true.
That's something worth noting, isn't it?
That's true. It is.
The night Dave came out. That's a night to celebrate. Just
Okay.
don't bring the monkey. Leave the
right
monkey
there,
pox at
George.
home.
I
Put
should
it
have
right
kept,
there.
I should have kept my mouth shut. It would have been better off. We have a big week planned for next week.
Do we?
Yeah, we're going to be here. We're going to be here.
Whoa.
Wrong.
This is just, now it's going off the rails.
Well, when you have a minute and 1 second, you got to fill it with something. You know what I'm
The
saying?
train is fully derailed.
We'll do it live.
I could tell last year's joke, but I know I wouldn't get past the first sentence.
Let's not.
It'd be like watching Blazing Saddles on regular TV. I mean, you're not gonna get any of it. It's not gonna happen.
They're trying to make me an scapegoat.
If the crowd were totally different, you could use the same joke again.
If you
But
do what?
If the attendees were all different,
Oh,
but they're not going to be.
they're not going to be.
I would know. And I don't want to hear it again.
Yeah, you're going to be there.
not a
I'm going to
bad
be
joke.
there. There's going to be a lot of repeat customers. So
That's good. And how thick are those ribeyes going to be, Dave?
Well, yeah, we're going to have less people this year, so they're going to be thicker. We're going to have nice thick ribeyes.
Want a thick ribeye.
Yeah, and we're going to stuff it with lobster and salmon just for you.
I'll take one without. Thank you very much.
hard pass.
That's all the time we have for On Target Radio. Be sure to listen next week when we'll be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup